the situation gets worsened by these infections. Not only COVID per se, I am taking this COVID context because now we are facing that COVID pandemic. So you have to be very vigilant. If it is a mild and moderate case of COVID, you can stay with the oral drugs or anything what you are using. If the case has become severe and needs admission and is to be put on this particular in the ICU, either on the oxygen or on the mechanical ventilation, you have to withdraw all the drugs and should be only the patient should be on only insulin and insulin. And if the patient refuses for in other cases, so like after 3 OADs, the patient still says I never take, rather I would die. I have some patients, they say, sir, rather I would die, but I don't take insulin. In that particular case, if there is no contraindication, you can add the pioglitazone also. Like lower is the more physiological. You can start with with 7.5 milligram of pioglitazone. Some two brands are available in the market. One is Sun and one is I think USV. They have this low dose pioglitazone, and you can go up to 15 milligram or even whatever dose you give pioglitazone. Please don't break it and give. Pioglitazone is a long acting molecule. It has to be given once in a day. That's it. Even the 7.5, even the 15 or 30, even the 45 also. Please don't break and give. The 15 milligram in the morning, 15 gram in the evening is not a good practice. You give it as a bolus, like you want to put the patient on 30 milligram pioglitazone. If there is no contraindication, that is volume overload states, you can straight away give that. And after that, also if something goes wrong seriously, you have to tell the patient there is no other way other than going for insulin. This is how you have to uptitrate the dose, adding one OAD to another OAD, another add-on, then insulin. And if the patient reluctantly refuses, you just write on the prescription paper, the patient is very thoroughly counseled for initiation of insulin, but still the patient refuses for insulin. You write it in anything, you put it in black and white, so that you have to save your skin in a clinical practice. With the experience I am telling you, all the time the patients are not very mild, they are becoming very wild also nowadays. Like if you put it in black and white, if the patient refused, you advised HbA1c, periodical monitoring, you advised kidney function test, you advised lipid profile, you advised everything. You advised even the fundus examination by the ophthalmologist. He says no, no, no. You put it in black and white. With a right pen, you write on your prescription paper straight away. I have got the habit of writing that for the last 3 decades. I write everything. I put it on like on my prescription paper. I enter each and everything, and I take a signature of the patient. Then, if he is illiterate, I'll take a thumb impression, LTI, left thumb impression of that particular patient. There ends the matter. Even he sues against you also, you will not be the sued at all. Like you will be very safe. First try to your skin, then only you can save the patient's skin. But nowadays patients are very dangerous. They have become like threatening patients for us. Yeah, what was the earlier question? There was the clarity was lacking in that question.
Yeah. So the question was, what's the max dose of sulfonylureas?
That was the question. Hello? What is the maximal dose of sulfonylureas?
Yes. And I just asked the question also, sir. So what is the difference? Why can't SGLT2 inhibitors be given as fourth line in addition to other OHAs and is not advisable, and rather choose insulin as fourth line?
See, the question is why not SGLT2 as a fourth drug of option instead of insulin, right?